The New York Giants and Joe Schoen have pulled off highway robbery by adding this football player to their team. We'll break that down around the corner. But first, if you still believe in the New York Giants following Saturday's game against the Houston Texans, if you are still riding and dying with the Giants, go ahead right now and hit that thumbs up icon. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, I am going to tell you why the Giants and Joe Schoen have pulled off highway robbery and why the NFL should be worried that Elijah Chatman, the UDFA out of SMU, is going to not just make the Giants football team, but he's going to be playing alongside Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeaux to maybe form the best pass rushing front four in the NFL. Joe Schoen found a hidden gem in Elijah Chatman. He has played great so far in 2 preseason games for the New York Giants, and it was not really your usual UDFA signing, but let's start with this. 6 foot, 278 pounds. That is the main reason why Elijah Chatman did not get drafted and did not get selected in the 2024 NFL draft. But everybody got a little bit of an inside look as to what Joe Schoen saw when Elijah Chatman tracked down, put on the athleticism, turned on the afterburners, and hit 16.2 miles per hour on this play where he hawked down a Houston Texans running back who ran a 4.40. Chatman ran a 4.840. This running back ran a 4.440, and that tells you that 40-yard dash speed doesn't always equal gameplay speed. And Chatman, he put everybody on notice. This clip went viral. I'm sure everybody saw it. And that didn't just open my eyes to Elijah Chatman. I saw what he did, and I had him as a rookie minicamp winner for the New York Giants when he earned that contract. But we started to see it in joint practices against the Detroit Lions. We then saw it translate in the game against the Detroit Lions, and we saw it again against the Houston Texans. In 2 preseason games, he's already got 5 QB pressures. He has 4 hurries. He already picked up a sack. He's got 3 tackles. He's making plays near and at and behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to be a major difference maker for the Giants as they are continuing to try to find who is going to be that second defensive tackle next to Dexter Lawrence. I want to go back in time and kind of just talk about the whole process of Elijah Chatman and how he got to this point. We know he's undersized. At his pro day at SMU, 5'11", 278 pounds. I don't even want to give him 6 feet. But you see that he was in the 90th percentile in bench press reps for defensive linemen. He was in the 81st percentile in vertical jump. He was in the 88th percentile in broad jump. 98th percentile in 40-yard dash. 94th percentile in his 20-yard split. And 85th percentile in his 10-yard split. He is an athletic freak. And I remember seeing this graphic last year, not really knowing who Elijah Chatman was. And now that he's a part of the Giants, it popped in my head. He has bench pressed 505 pounds before. He's done 47 reps at 225 pounds. He has squatted 655 pounds and power cleaned 365 pounds. This guy is a gym warrior, a workout legend. And some people are already comparing him with his relative athletic score to Aaron Donald. I'm not saying Elijah Chatman is Aaron Donald, but I'll let you look at the screen. I'll let you make the comparisons yourself. Both are undersized. Both aren't your prototypical looking interior defensive tackle. Both around 6 foot. Both around 280 pounds. But they're strong as an ox. They're extremely athletic. Their ability to make plays on the defensive line is very, very similar. Obviously, Aaron Donald is a Hall of Famer and maybe the best defensive tackle of all time, but as Elijah Chatman, he has looked pretty good as well for the Giants. Coming up next, Elijah Chatman is going to make the 53-man roster for the New York Giants, but it is deeper than that, and I believe he is going to be a pivotal piece of this pass rush. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Turtle Beach. I'm once again wearing my headset, and I love it. And you can get yours by going to turtlebeach.com/chat and get 10% off your order with the promo code chat. Because we love and care about you, we'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Shout out to Turtle Beach, and their new Gen 3 Stealth 600 headset picks up so much crystal clear sound, it's basically cheating. You'll hear every footstep, every reload, and every single enemy sneaking up on you. Turtle Beach doesn't just have amazing headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank. I only use Turtle Beach headsets when I'm playing online and gaming with my friends, and nobody likes being in the party chat with someone that has a bad mic and a terrible echo. I hate it. I'm not doing that. I'm making sure all my friends are hooked up with Turtle Beach like I am. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today for a limited time only. Head to turtlebeach.com and use code chat for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code chat. I want to give a major shout out to Turtle Beach for sponsoring today's show. I love having a sponsor of something that I actually use, and I use Turtle Beach every day when I'm hopping on my Xbox, beating producers Smitty and Madden or NCAA. You can do the same, turtlebeach.com/chat, promo code chat for 10% off your order. Elijah Chatman isn't a guy that's just a workout warrior. He's not someone that's just going to, I would say, impress you with his athleticism. This guy was a dog at SMU. In 60 games played there, he had 98 tackles, 34 tackles for loss, 13 and a half sacks, 80 pressures, and 54 QB hurries. So he is not new to this. He is someone that has made plays his entire football career. And he was extremely decorated at SMU as he was a part of that football team. Three-time, second team All ACC with his last year at SMU. This past year, first team All ACC. He's done it in high school. He's done it in college. And I believe he is going to do it once again in the National Football League. But what makes this story even more surprising and even more entertaining and crazy is that Elijah Chatman is not your typical undrafted free agent. He's not a guy that once the 6th round ended, he started working the phones with his agent. Once the 7th round ended, he didn't start working the phones with his agent calling NFL teams. He had to wait a couple of days. He was not signed by the Giants. He got a rookie mini camp invite, and he impressed there so much. He made such a strong impression, the Giants then awarded him with a contract. Not your typical UDFA. Had to walk on the team is pretty much at rookie mini camp, and he ended up making the squad. And he's not just going to make this team. This guy is going to make plays for the New York Giants. We've talked about on this channel time and time again who is going to be the player that steps up, claims that defensive tackle 2 job, and play alongside Dexter Lawrence to take this defensive line from really good to one of the best in the National Football League. I don't know if that could be Raheem Nunez-Roches. I'm not sure if Jordan Riley's ready for that. DJ Davidson made some plays against the Texans, but I'm not sure he's a down and down out guy. I don't believe Ryder Anderson is that guy. Neither is Rodgers or Horn. But I do think Chatman, even though I worry a little bit about him because of his size, even though he's strong as an ox and maybe the strongest player on this team in run defense. So where might we see him a little bit more? 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and obvious passing downs. Could the Giants look back into the playbook of Steve Spagnuolo and run that NASCAR package that made him famous with Justin Tuck, OCU Minora, Michael Strahan, and all of the greatest New York Giants defensive linemen that everybody loves? Because the D-line on 3rd and 8 coming at you with Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau, with Elijah Chatman making moves and pushing the pocket from the interior, that's going to keep offensive line coaches at night. But it's not just Chatman and the person that he is and the player that he is as to why I believe he's going to be real. It's because still Dre Patterson, my guy Andre Patterson, the best defensive line coach in the National Football League, is going to do it again. He did it with Danielle Hunter. He took Dexter Lawrence's game to another level. We've seen him already working with Kayvon Thibodeau. I think Brian Burns is going to benefit from Patterson, the best defensive line coach in the NFL, and they have given him a ball of clay to mold in Elijah Chatman to make him potentially a real player in this league. And honestly, if the Giants are going to compete, if the Giants are going to play meaningful football games as we get closer to Christmas, as we get closer to New Year's, if this team is going to play meaningful games, it is going to be because of their front four. Dexter Lawrence, $90 million, first round pick. Brian Burns, $150 million. They traded a second round pick for him. Kayvon Thibodeau, number 5 in the NFL draft. The amount of resources and assets that have been poured in this defensive line, they need to take them over the top. And we got to see a little bit of that against the Houston Texans. Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, I thought, played really well. Burns had a PFF grade of 90.3, had a couple of nasty spin moves. We saw him and Thibodeau create pressure on that third down that forced a 4th and goal where Dexter Lawrence ended up getting a bat down. Tibbs had a PFF grade of 75 as well. Azeez Ojulari picked up a sack. Benton Whitley is someone impressed me a little bit. Shout out to my guy, Benton Whitley. But seriously, this defensive line needs to be not just the heartbeat, but the gas in the tank of this engine driving them to success. Because if they struggle, which I don't think they will, there's just too much talent there. But if they don't live up to the hype, which I don't even want to say it's hype because these guys have all earned it at this point, this team is not going to be what we all want it to be. What do you think about this question? Last year, the top 5 teams in the NFL in total sacks had 51 or more. And I think the Giants have a top 5 pass rush this year. So my question to you to close today's show is this: 50 sacks for Big Blue this year. Type O for over, type U for under. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't yet, please, please, please hit me up on social media. My Twitter's growing like crazy. We're on the way to 8,000 Twitter followers, X followers, whatever you want to call it. We're also on Instagram posting about Big Blue. So if you're on other social media sites, hit the kid up and let's go G-Men.